Hi, I'm Grete from Scandinavian today. Recently my daughter Heidi gave me this wonderful rolling pin with a pattern in it, and it's meant for making crisp bread. So I really appreciate getting it. In the past I used a fork and I punched it with that. So if you don't have a rolling pin, just use a fork. That will also work. So let's get started making it. So here we have the ingredients for my Swedish Crispbread. I am going to use 1 cup of whipping cream, 1.5 cup of water, 2.5 cup of whole wheat rye flour, and also 2.5 cup of regular wheat flour. Then I have 1 teaspoon of salt and 1.5 tablespoon of yeast, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of sesame seeds, and 1 teaspoon of caraway seeds. So now I'm going to mix the ingredients for my knäckebröd, or Crispbread it's called in English. So here I pour in the water, and now comes the heavy cream, and I'm just heating it up to finger warm. Okay. And while this is heating up, I'm mixing some of the other ingredients. So here is the regular flour, here comes the rye flour, the salt, and I'll mix this up, and as soon as the milk and the cream and the water is warm, I'll add that to the flour mixture. And here I'm adding the cream water mixture to the flour mixture, and just stir it all up. And then after it's been mixed up, I leave it alone for about an hour before I continue. And here you see the dough mixture on the countertop. I sprinkled the countertop with some rye flour, and I'm now going to knead it for 2 to 3 minutes. That should be sufficient. And after that, I leave it alone for about an hour, and then I can bake it. So this seems pretty nice. Okay, so I put it back in the bowl. And I cover up the bowl and leave it alone for half an hour before I continue. And of course, crisp bread was invented in Sweden in year 500, and later on it became very popular, especially around 1800. It became so common both in Finland and Sweden. And of course today we love to eat it in all the Nordic countries. So I'm ready to roll out the dough, and I cut about 1/3 off. And I'm going to roll this out in a circle. Of course I flour it on both sides before I start rolling out. And you want to make sure it's rolled out really thin. I'm going to cut it out. I have a plate here, which is about, let's see, okay, this plate is about 8.5 inches wide. So I'm going to slice it around the plate here. There we have one piece. And of course, again, I have to sprinkle it with some sesame seeds, some salt, some caraway seeds. And then I roll it in with a nice pattern. Look, I love that. And I roll it on the other side. Okay, and then I'll roll out a smaller piece as well. And of course, be sure you sprinkle flour on the surface before you start rolling out. And you see I rolled out a smaller piece. In fact, this is about, let's see, this piece is about 6.5 inches wide. So I cut that out, and that will also fit on my baking sheet. Okay, so here I roll the pattern in it. I think that's really nice. There we go. So it just works out like this. Okay. And of course, I'm not going to leave it for a couple of minutes before I put it in the oven. And as I mentioned earlier, the oven has been set at 450. Okay, and the bigger circle, I'm going to make a hole in the center. There we have it, all ready to go in the oven. If you don't have this kind of a rolling pin, I suggest you use a fork and punch it all over, all right, on both sides. That will also work. But I really enjoy the rolling pin. And here. Okay, and the oven is warm, so I now stick it in the oven. And I'll check back in 4 minutes. So I took it out of the oven, and I'm now going to flip it to the other side and bake it in the oven for another 2 to 3 minutes. That should be sufficient. And here we have the 2 pieces out of the oven. I now put it down to cool, and I can continue baking the next few pieces. So when they first made Crispbread, they always have a big circle with a hole in the middle, and this way they put it on a stick and it could hang in the attic to dry. And of course, here I have a piece of my Crispbread. I buttered it, I added some cheese. Of course, you can have different toppings. Salmon is great on it, you know. Cheese is great, just jam or just butter too. That would be great. So take a bite here. Nice and crunchy. Oh, I love it. It's good. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care and hope to see you another day. It goes good with coffee, that's for sure. So here you see my peach tree. I have so many peaches on, and they're getting ripe now, but they're still a little hard, although the squirrels are busy eating them. But I have plenty of them, and in a couple of weeks I should be using them for baking and cooking. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to our channel, because every week we publish traditional as well as modern Scandinavian recipes. And this will help you to celebrate special events as well as memories with family and friends. And we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hope to see you another day. Take care. Skål.